today I want to try something for this video. I'm actually recording this on my new phone because it's a trial. I don't know if recording on this phone is going to be worth it or not. This phone's video quality is supposed to be really, really, really good. And so what I need you guys to do, if the picture's okay and you can hear me okay, I would love to know that, because I think recording on my phone would be easier. I think I would get more footage rather than feeling like I have to carry a camera around. Plus, I truly think the video quality is probably better on the phone, honestly, which is just insane technology. But yeah, give this video a thumbs up if you can see everything looks okay, it doesn't bother you at all, and the audio is good because that's really, really important. Otherwise, I hope you guys enjoyed this video today. I hope you have a little takeaway from it. I think the biggest takeaway I want people to have with them from this whole adventure, from this whole chasing his creations, and Derek and I getting ready to travel the world or travel the United States together, is that to have fun. That I want you guys to feel like you're allowed, like permission to really live. And while I know that this may not be something that everyone can do, right? Like people they're in different situations in their life. They've got families, they've got financial burdens, they've got like different things in their life. This doesn't mean I'm saying you have to travel the world for an extended amount of time to have fun. Fun can literally mean like going and acting like a child at a park, or putting on your favorite song and just dancing it out, or whatever it may be, just to not take life and our time here so freaking serious all the time, to not get caught up in the small things, and to just find a way to incorporate more fun in your life, more adventure in your life. I think we learn a lot from adventure and a lot from having fun, not only about like just the experiences of going to a new place or enjoying music or enjoying a park necessarily, but really about who we are. I think it's in those times that when we just express ourselves and let ourselves fully live, that we learn a lot about who we are. And I'm excited to share those adventures with you. So I hope that's a takeaway you take away from today's video. We are going to chat about kind of how we figured out how to budget this, how we figured out how long we can travel for, and we'll be as honest as we can about things and share as much as we can about things. And I hope you guys enjoy it. Let's get into the video.
It's a week later. I am so good at YouTube. It kills me how good I am at it. Anyways, is this weird? I'm actually podcasting in my car right now because I feel like the sound quality might be so clutch in here, and the temperature is so perfect outside, and I really don't want to go sit in my closet where I normally record my podcast. And so I'm going to do it in my car. And that's what I'm doing right now. This is it. This is the life of an entrepreneur. It's the dream life. Anyways, it's a week later, and actually today I get to spend more time with my husband. After I recorded that, I was like, I'm not even going to see Derek for a while. So I don't know why I started that today. But anyways, Derek and I are going to be spending time together tonight, and then we have small group and stuff. So we're going to squeeze some little snippets in about how we plan for this trip and how we are able to afford it, and how we, I already gave you the whole spiel. You don't need more of the spiel, but we're really excited. We've talked about the trip a lot this past week, actually, and just our excitement level is really high right now. So I feel like it's a good time to share because we're full of good energy. And yeah, so be on the lookout for these little snippets because I promise they're coming. Speaking of podcasts, actually, if you don't know, I have a podcast. It's called The Chasing Freedom Show. It's on iTunes. It's on Spotify. It's on SoundCloud and iHeartRadio and all of the places. So if you're a podcast listener, then I would love for you to go listen to that. I'll put it down in the description box. If you're not a podcast listener, I got nothing. Podcast or where it's at. I promise you. It's a great way to spend your gap time and to learn a lot and to be a sponge and to learn from other people's experiences. And sometimes they're just really, really freaking entertaining. So yeah, podcast world is where it's at. And so if you want to listen to a new podcast or need some recommendations, the Chasing Freedom Show is where it's at. and I'll see you guys in the next clip. Yay, Derek came home. So, babe, this podcast, this YouTube is us sharing kind of how this all came to be, our trip, how we're planning it financially, kind of where that all started. So maybe the foundation of how we're able to afford this and do this thing, and kind of, you know, how we discovered the timeline and what exactly it's going to look like. Go.
So I think naturally the big piece to this whole thing is the finance piece, and how do you go about financing 10 months on the road when you've never even spent
10 days?
Yeah.
10 days is our longest trip.
So, you know, I think talking to as many people that have done similar trips was a good piece for us to kind of budget it out and think about, okay, on the big months where we're going to be in expensive cities doing a lot of extracurriculars, what's the high end going to be? And then basing your 10-month trip off of the high end so that you're definitely good when you're in kind of more desolate areas, more rural areas that...
Better safe than sorry.
Not as much.
We're actually blessed to know. We don't really know him really well, but we follow, and I went to college with a guy that travels people for a living. So he takes people on basically excursions around the U.S. for a living, and that's his job. Shout out to Ben. He also takes naked butt pictures and posts them wherever he goes. I'm going to put him in the description. It's actually worth a follow. And so we got coffee with him. We caught him on this time he was in town in between all these crazy adventures, and we caught him at a good time, and he gave us so much information about things we would need, especially as he's very adventurous, very hikey, campy type of guy. And so we learned a lot from him. And so knowing people like that is awesome. That's why we want to take you guys along this journey too, so we can teach people more things about how to travel. And we're not extravagant travelers. We 5-star, none of that kind of stuff. We just need a space. We need to feel safe. I think that's probably the most important, is that we feel relatively safe. We feel safer together, obviously, but just being smart. You know, we never go to fancy restaurants or anything like that. That's not why we travel. So knowing that, like you said, we kind of put together, okay, in the craziest of spots and in the biggest cities, how much would this cost for 1 month? And then we went from there, and we looked at our finances from there, and we're like, okay, how long could we do this? We also discovered during this time that we wanted to build our forever home also. And so we were debating.
Forgot that piece.
Yeah, we were debating whether or not we would rent this house out while we were gone, or just sell this house, not have a home under our name, and build while we were gone. And so that was a big factor in the very beginning as far as finances go, because we were trying to get this house payment filled, whether we sold it or rented it out. We didn't want to put our family in a burden of having to be the landlord and all of that kind of stuff. Plus, you have to trust the people that are living in your house that you own. You never know what you're going to come back to. That kind of stuff. So we didn't want that over our head. So we were like, you know what? We're going to sell our home. And if for some reason we don't travel for 10 months and have to come home before that, which we don't think that's going to happen, but you never know.
You never know.
We could come home, and we have very loving family. We will be able to get an apartment or something. Well, something would work out. God would figure it out. We would be okay.
Yeah, it was kind of the perfect storm with our circumstances, meaning her dad helping us out with contracting the house out. The way the housing market is right now, we sold the house in about 5 hours, 4 hours.
Literally.
Something like that. So it was just kind of the perfect storm. You know, financially, we set ourselves up in a position to maximize our savings for this trip.
Yes.
So that the trip was paid for before we took off.
We're gonna tell you more about that. We're gonna switch up the scene. I don't want y'all to listen to 5 minutes clips that might be incredibly boring. So we'll switch it up. We'll tell you how we kind of went about saving so that we have the money for the trip before we actually go on the trip. Bye.
Probably southern Utah more originally, and then possibly some northern Utah after we get done with the Pacific coast.
Cool. So southern Utah, you know, being a broker, have you heard of like the Tuacahn Theater before?
I have not.
Okay. Well, I don't know if you're sick of.
We're back. Okay, so
Back at it again with the pink jacket.
yeah, I thought you were gonna start rapping. So we were gonna pick up about talking about, wow, I'm a great speaker. Talking about, Derek was just affirming me and how well I speak and what I speak about, and then I just blow it. That's typically how life goes, though.
You had one chance.
Well, that light flare though. So basically, this is how we went about saving so that we have the monies before we start the trip. Derek,
Ramen noodles, saltine crackers, bottled water. Survival kit.
Survival mode. No, but really we were very careful and aware of where our money was going. Derek has worked at Samtec, which is the job that he's had for 10 years now. Different job within the company, but he's worked there for a long time. And he has been able to afford living in the home that we live in now without me before. So I was just an additive. And so because of that, we knew we were able to afford that home without my income. And so we just kind of figured out a way to live off of Derek's income, and it was very much so living off of Derek's income. Like we were pretty tight. I mean, just because my money, we just pretended I didn't really make money for almost an entire year.
Yeah, it's been since February or March.
Yeah, but even before that, I had started saving.
Yeah.
So yeah, we just lived off of one of our incomes. Remember, we don't have kids. We don't have pets. We have each other to take care of, and, you know, other obligations, of course, and family and friends and stuff like that. But we just were really aware of where our money was going. We tried not to just buy things just to buy things. I think we really balance each other out well there, as far as kind of reflecting when we're going to buy something, if it's something that we actually need. We're not much of just like go on these crazy sprees where we just buy a bunch of stuff. And so, yeah, we lived off of one income for an entire year pretty much, and put away all the extra money for that year until we hit that saving spot that we knew we needed to live on for 10 straight months. Our pastor is kicking stuff around so that we can park at his house because we're a small group. Woo! All right, catch up with y'all soon. Next day, it's Friday, October 19th, and if you guys are wondering how the whole moving thing is going, it's not. We haven't, literally, like, everything in our house is the exact same as when we sold our house. But technically, we don't even have a closing date on our house because the people that bought our house have to close on their house before we can close on ours. So we're going to have, like, this last minute closing date, and then apparently we have like 21 days after that to get out of our house. So I think we're going to be moving right before Thanksgiving. That's just this feeling I have. So yeah, we haven't packed at all. We don't act like we're moving. We're just really embracing our last weeks in this home. But I'm not too stressed about it. I know when it's packing mode, I can get in packing mode. Right now, it's just living mode. Also, as far as our trip goes, if you're curious what we've bought so far for the trip, we're killing it. We're actually killing it. We're so prepared because what we have, my friends, is an atlas. We wanted to we're going to use our phone GPS, obviously, but we also wanted this big, real atlas to take on our adventures. I want to put little notes in it. I want it to be like, it's got every single state in it. I want it to be like the scrapbook of our adventures. I don't know what it's going to look like yet, but Derek got me an atlas, and I thought it was the sweetest gift. I'm like, that is like the most thoughtful gift, and you are the sweetest husband. The other thing we've gotten is good hiking socks. We've gotten good hiking socks. I can't hold this. My arm is hurting so bad. We've gotten good hiking socks. 1 pair a piece, killing it. Derek for his birthday got hiking shoes for my family, so he's got good hiking shoes. I'm gonna ask for some for Christmas. And then I also got Derek for his birthday a very nice piece of luggage that is a lifetime warranty called Away. Away is the brand, and it is so beautiful. I will show you guys. This is the piece of luggage by the Away brand. It came in this big bag. It was really nice. It's like Hardy. I got black matte. I think it's so pretty. I even got his little initials. He's so cute. And yeah, this has lifetime warranty. So anything that goes wrong, they will send us a new one or fix it for us. So I thought that was a really good investment. The reason that I got that piece of luggage is because we invested in good luggage. I think Derek might be home. No, not him. We invested in a good piece of a luggage for both of us, a big piece and a small piece. It was on our wedding registry. We got them both, which was really nice. But the first time that we traveled with them, the airline people completely tore up our pieces, and I'm just like, wow, that was a waste of hundreds of dollars. And so I invested in that one piece. I think that piece was $270 for one piece. But knowing that we will never have to buy Derek a suitcase again made me feel a lot better about that, because our other luggage was like $200 a piece and it was broke after one use. And I was just like, that's cash right down the drain. That is silly. Not doing that. So that's what we've got for our trip so far, and that's it. And I'm about to go get a coffee. I'm so weird. So I think the lesson learned so far from this video, as we were preparing with how long we would travel and how much stuff would cost and can we afford it and when will we leave and all of that kind of stuff, is kind of figure out what you want to do. How do you want your how do you want your adventure to look? For us, we went to Europe early in the spring, and that's what really set in stone that we wanted to just stay in the US, because we were searching all these spots that there are in the US available to us, and we were like, holy crap, there's so much within our country that we had no idea was there. There's so much to see. I don't think we need to necessarily go to Europe to feel like we're, you know, really getting to travel around and see God's creations. And so we were like, let's just stay in the US. Let's just travel our country. And so we knew that. And then after that, we were like, okay, so how much would it even cost to travel for, let's say 1 month? Because that sounded fun. We were like, we'll travel for 1 month and then we'll come back and, you know, build a home and all of that kind of stuff. Well, then we put together the price. We looked what we had. We kind of just like took a step back, zoomed out where we could save and how we could live and what it would take and everything. And then also when we realized we wanted to build our home, we were like, well, we don't really need a home if we're going to be gone. So let's just go be gone and let's let our home be on the road while we travel, and we'll just start building our home. So we will have like the construction loan to be paying on while we're traveling, but it's still not going to be as much as our mortgage here, plus our all of our utilities and our bills and everything like that we had here. So it's going to be a little bit cheaper to do that instead of like having this house on top of staying in the Airbnbs and traveling and all of that kind of stuff. It just worked out a little bit better so that we could save a little bit of money on our journey. So just if you want to travel more, you want to get out, there's so many options out there. I was just telling some friends, like, there are weekend adventures. You could leave work right after work on Friday and come back late Sunday night and see so much within 2 full days of your life and go on these adventures. Or you could see how much it costs and go for an entire month. Like, wouldn't it be cool if you could save up all your days at work and just use those to travel for a month or something like that? There's so many possibilities out there, and it's just sitting down and deciding, how much do you have? How much would stuff cost? Is this possibility? Maybe it's not right now, but maybe it will be in the future if you prepare yourself to do so, that you can experience things like that. So any other things that pop up in my head about our planning, I'll be sure to record here. I'm not going to close this video out yet because I feel like there's something that I'm forgetting. Okay, so we wanted to close this video by just kind of discussing how we are booking things for this trip.
and how far in advance we're booking out Airbnbs and adventure stuff and everything. The first part of our trip, we're in Texas, Arizona, Utah, the more adventure-y part. I mean, I guess not really. I mean, even when we're up in Canada and Washington, we're still going to be in the mountains and exploring, but
yeah. So the thing about when you're doing cities and national park outdoor things where you're going to be at the mercy of nature, you got to kind of do your research for one, knowing which, like some of the places that we want to go, we have to sign up 6 months, 3 months in advance to try to get passes for the things that we want to see. So make sure you do your research if you're going to do things like that, and make sure you set yourself reminders for signups, stuff like that, because a lot of them are limited to the number of passes they give out daily.
yeah.
And then, you know, when you're doing that type of stuff, again, you're at the mercy of nature, so you can't book too far in advance. So those parts of our trip, we're only going to be booking a week, maybe 2 weeks out.
Yeah.
Just because we have 10 months, we don't know how long we're going to spend at each spot. And again, if you get a desert storm and it washes out for 2 days, you don't want to miss out because you book things too far in advance.
Yeah. A couple things you can do if you're like interested in the national parks and all of that is you do need a national park pass. So instead of paying in each park, you can get like a all-encompassing pass that gets you into all the parks. So we're about to do that. I think a pass lasts a full year.
Yes, valid.
It's like 80 bucks per person.
Months from the date you purchase.
You want to hold this for a second? My arm's dying.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're about to get our passes since we'll have a full year, so that's exciting. And then also, look at that little tiny shed. Squirrel. Also, as far as Airbnbs go, we're just gonna try to, you know, book a week or two in advance and just fingers crossed hope that we can find a spot that kind of fits our needs. But
look for weekly and monthly discounts.
Discounts, yes. There are a lot of monthly and weekly discounts that will save you quite a bit of money.
It's at least 10%. Some of them are even up to 20%.
Yeah.
Off the nightly rate.
And you know, don't disregard, this is what we need to look into a little bit too, is hotels, like along the way too. Some cities, I've heard recently the Airbnb prices are starting to go up. So some cities, hotels might be more reasonable if you're staying for an extended period of time. So we're not disclosing hotels at all yet either. Sorry, I date the town mayor and he knows everyone here.
You date him, huh?
I date him. I date you, babe.
Yeah.
We're never gonna stop dating. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We're gonna share some more stuff. Actually, we're hoping, fingers crossed, that I was telling you all in the beginning of this video, the people have to close on their house before we can close on ours, that they close this week. So we may be moving out sooner than we thought, which I'm torn, bittersweet. So that's exciting. We'll share some of the packing up, and we're really starting to put a list together for what the heck we're going to pack for this trip and what that looks like. So stay tuned for more videos, and we will see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe.